We're going through, we're on chapter 5 of Lead Small, which most of you, if you're a small group leader, you've probably read through this before, or maybe you're in the process of doing it right now if you're onboarding with us. But it looks like this, and it says, move them out. And it's kind of the end of the book. It's kind of the end where they're talking about, like, your small group students leaving you. And it's really sad. But the reality is that, our students won't be with us for forever, right? As much as, like, we love them, we care on them, and, like, we hope that they're going to be here for forever and just we get to, like, be a part of their lives for forever. The reality is eventually they're going to reach a point where they're going to move out, and they have next steps, and especially in high school, that means college for most of them, right? That means one of the most intimidating decisions of their lives. And so that whole chapter, and I'll let you read through it. I'm not going to re-preach everything in there, but it basically talks about the importance of setting them up for that next step. It talks about getting other adults, other leaders in their lives, not just you guys as small group leaders, but getting their parents involved in their lives, people that are going to be there, not that you can't, but people that will be there even beyond as they go into their college years. I know a lot of you guys, you're probably looking at me and you're like, I have ninth grade boys, and like that's 4 years from now. It'll be here before you know it. And so take time now to start setting them up for what their future is. Like, right, we want to disciple them. We want to help them navigate life as they're going through it currently. But we also want to set them up to also be able to continue walking with God after they leave here, right? Like, if they come through 4 years of high school and they're like, man, I love Jesus, and then they go to college and we lose them and they leave the church, like, man, like, that's really not our heart. Our mission is to set them up not only in high school and help them navigate the times that they're going through right now, but also preparing them for the season that's about to come. So, like, keep that in mind as you're ministering to your students, as you're leading them throughout the week and in groups. I love the Bible because in every circumstance, in anything that we're facing, like, there's always an example. There's always somewhere in the Bible where it's like, man, that right there speaks to exactly what I'm doing right now. And with the whole, like, thought of, like, moving them to their next step and preparing them for their next season, like, Jesus did this, right? Like, when he came, he died, he rose, and then he basically went to his disciples and goes, hey, I'm going to be leaving y'all in a couple of days, and I'm going to be ascending. I'm going to be leaving this earth. But he didn't leave his disciples stranded, right? Like, what were the first words out of his mouth? Because they were immediately like, Jesus, what are we going to do without you? Like, that was like, they were freaking out. And he immediately looked at them and was like, no, I'm sending a Holy Spirit. I'm sending a helper to come help you, to help guide you, right? And, like, while we get that privilege of walking with him and serving alongside the Holy Spirit now, like, we get to also model that with Jesus of, like, man, let's set them up for a next step. Let's love on them. Let's care on them. Let's make sure that when they leave us, that they're not leaving all their help. They're not leaving all their support system behind, right? But we're actually sending something with them the same way that Jesus sent the Holy Spirit with his disciples. Is that good? You guys get that? Come on. So it says this in the book, but just the last step of just, man, move them to someone else, move them to be the church, and lastly, just move them to what's next, right? You guys feeling good out there?